golly, that last video I made, that hit 10 minutes very quickly. Basically, in a nutshell, let me just bring it all together in this video, okay? When you move righteously, morally, ethically, in your truth, and you fight for truth, and you advocate for what's right and wrong, versus you advocate for what's wrong or for what's right over what's wrong, and that's in every day. We all can do that in our own walk every day. We all can. Whether you're extremely prominent in this world, you have a podcast, whatever, we can all fight for what's right. And so when you move in that, no matter what your position is in this world, because you know what's right and wrong. We all know what's right and wrong. We know how to treat people. We know what we should be doing in our career field. We know how we should be upstanding to the nation and to our brothers and sisters. We all know these things deep within our soul. No matter how much the devil and your flesh and your ego and your pride's got a strong pull on you, you still know what's right and wrong. You still know. You can't, it's inside. It's inside of you. And so when you move and operate in that as close as you can, obviously you're going to fall short. We all fall short every single day. We all do. It's impossible to be right and perfect all the time. It is absolutely impossible. Only God and Jesus are capable of these things, you see. And that's why Jesus died on the cross, because it is impossible. It's impossible to do these things, but you can go down trying. You can go down kicking and screaming, trying, against all odds, against all the strong pulls, against all the cool kids, and the mean girls, and the politics, and the whatever. Fill in the blanks, okay? But you can go down trying. And when you go down trying, you ain't worried about it. You don't worry about it. You ain't worried about the perceptions. You ain't worried about the distractions. You ain't worried about the illusions. You ain't worried about what they say. You're not worried about how the people receive you. You're not worried about none of that. None of that matters, because you know deep within your heart that you did the right thing. You tried to the best of your abilities to do the right thing. We all know what it is. We know what it is. And so it's one of those things. You have the free will to decide what is right and wrong. You surely do. God gives that to you. And so every day you have the right to do with it what you may. Do with it what you may. Pour into this world what you may. And understand, in those choices that you have, there is repercussions to it. Some way, shape, or form. You know something that came to me yesterday that was so powerful? I was going to pick up lunch. And I was on my way back. And it just popped in my head out of nowhere because of conversations I've had in the past with people. Numerous amounts of people. And conversations that I had where they talk about their relationship with God and Jesus, and recognizing what Jesus did, and their spirituality and things of that nature. And they have questions. They have questions for God, and Jesus when they meet them, and reference to their life and all their hardships, people that have passed, young people that have passed, and horrific situations, whether that be health or a car accident, suicidal, drug addictions, all these different things. And people have questions like, why would you take this person out of this world at such a young age? Why would you take this kid out of this world and stuff like that? And I get that. I get that completely. See, when I meet God and I meet Jesus Christ, I have no questions. I understand. I just give him a big hug and be like, yes, I hope I made you proud. That's what I would be. But everybody's different. And they're allowed to feel how they feel. But something came to me, and I thought it was really powerful. in reference to losing loved ones, in reference to sicknesses. How do we know that all these sicknesses that are in this world, all these diseases, why do we assume that it's Jesus and God's fault that we lost them because of them? Like, why did you take my loved one so early to cancer? Why did you take my loved one so have to put them through dementia? Why'd you, go, and there's a there's just a gazillion sicknesses out here, a gazillion. They come up with more by the day, and they come up with more medications by the day for them. But how do we know that it was their fault? We don't. How do we know that these sicknesses and different things, cancers and all this stuff? To me, it's one of those things where it's like, I do believe within my heart of hearts that some of these things are manufactured when it comes to these sicknesses and stuff like that. I do believe there's cures out there. Again, this is my thoughts, my opinions. I can talk about them. And so I question the people in our world that are capable of curing these things, and they're choosing not to because of money, greed, and power, controlling the populace in reference to how many populace are in the world. And so it's one of those things. It's one of those things. I recognize that we have so much evil and deception and corruption in this world across the board that unfortunately that is not God's fault. It's not Jesus's fault. Jesus died on the cross actually for that actual thing itself. Because the same thing happened when Jesus was alive with the Pharisees. It's the same vicious circle in reference to the kings and the Pharisees and the power and the control and the greed and the desires, And so it's one of those things I don't question, and I question the people in the world that have the ability to fix the problem. That's what I question. Why aren't they? Why aren't they? Why are they choosing not to? And so these are one of these things that, you just have to kind of go down that rabbit hole within your thought process and, believe what you believe in free will. But what I found is when we go through tragic times, we go through passings, we go through these horrific events in our lives, we want to place blame somewhere. We have to place blame somewhere. It's got to be somebody's fault. And so I feel like in different ways we have been conditioned in our thoughts and Christianity to blame in different ways God and Jesus. And so it's one of those things. I believe that that's not the case at all, personally. And so I just felt compelled when it came to me. I was like, dang, that's so true. How do we know for a fact that all the sicknesses and everything out in the world today are God and Jesus' fault? How do we know that to be true? Has that been proven? Has that been proven? If it has, I haven't seen it. I don't know that to be true. And so it's one of those things. It's one of those things. And so I understand people wanting to question a lot right now, particularly right now. There's a lot of nasty stuff in this world. I get it, but I never question God or Jesus. I recognize what I carry inside of me, the Christ conscience and the Holy Spirit. And I also understand that they do not have control over people. That's why people have free will and choice. They do not control this world. But people within the world control themselves based off their free will and their choice. And so with that mere statement, why would I place the blame on something, on God and Jesus, when it is not theirs to carry? It's not theirs to carry. I don't feel as though we need to be in a world that places blame in certain situations when it's not people's blame to carry, And there's so many different mechanics and layers to this system in reference to what truly does deserve to carry the blame. And a lot of it is the free will and free choice